The Doncaster Retro Gaming Market haul is going to be shown in this episode, but there's lots of other things as well. I need to talk to you guys about something that I've been noticing about the retro gaming markets post-COVID. Now, we can tailor this as well for North American audiences because I'm curious to see if things have changed for you as well. Also, I want to mention about how I feel about my retro game collection because I've noticed that things have started to change in the way I'm doing things here. So there's actually quite a lot to cover. If you've not seen the Doncaster Retro Gaming Market episodes, there's almost an hour's worth of footage where I take you around every nook and cranny of the market. There were some amazing stalls. I cannot believe how many people said hi. I did loads of little giveaways as well. I took some channel cards out, I took magnets out, and I'll be doing more giveaways as well. In fact, I've got a few games around me at the minute that I'm going to be giving away on here. Keep an eye on the community tab and over on Facebook, so you must be subscribed if you want to enter the giveaways. So there's a lot to get through, guys. I'm going to talk about what I picked up at the Doncaster Video Game Market first, and then I need you to settle down with me, grab a cup of tea and potentially a bourbon biscuit and listening to this weird things I've been noticing about my collection and the state of retro gaming markets and shops. Roll intro. You saw Sarah wear it. We've got a Sega Virtua Tennis 2009 press kit. I'm going to show you guys exactly what's in it. Now, I'm a sucker for a press kit. I'm a sucker for all things weird and random when it comes to our beloved retro gaming hobby, collecting, playing, everything, you name it. And when I saw that, I was like, I have to have this. I absolutely cannot leave without it. And I got it from the same stall as I picked it up. And some of you have already guessed, yes! My Japanese gold model Nintendo 64. Now here's where things have started to change, and I'll show you again on B-roll the condition of this, because I've started to take a massive interest in Japanese retro games, cartridge-based ones only. So I say cartridge-based ones only, I'm talking specifically Nintendo 64 games and Super Famicom games, because you guys know that I am a massive Super Nintendo girl. I mean, I collect everything. We got Dreamcast behind the camera, we got GameCube, Wii, loads of Neo Geo Pocket Man. I mean, you name it, there's so much stuff in here. But I thought I'd take a bit of a plunge and have a blast at some Nintendo 64 Japanese, and I'm going to be playing the games that you've just seen that I picked up from Alan's Japanese Retro Gaming. Great store, by the way, fantastic store. If you missed it on the episodes, you need to check it out. So I'm really happy with my little Japanese haul, and I want to shout out Craig, who owned the stall where we picked up the press kit and the Japanese N64. So shout out to Craig. I love your stuff, mate. Really cool, and I hope to see you again at the future markets. I've got another shout out now, because you've seen it right here. You may have seen an episode where, in fact, I'll roll a little bit of footage.
You know,
it's missing. It's not even the official power pack.
I can give you the official everything.
Yeah.
You know this and this.
Yeah.
it has a price. This one.
Yeah, the just
You know,
this in
it's
itself.
crazy.
Yeah,
It is mad, yeah.
it's
Crazy.
mad, isn't it? It is
Yeah.
mad. Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a shame it's got no.
I can give you the. Do you know what's the game?
There were just any. I think they actually varied. So you could put like a boxed game in, and it would like pop out almost on the shelf when they used to actually sell them. But yeah, it's.
I can give you a power table.
What about what would the best price be as is? It's like because obviously there's no game, there's no there's no cable. There's a yellowing. It's very yellow.
Do you want official one, or do you want to take it as is?
What would it be as is?
I'll do it 210.
No, can't do 210.
Guys, it worked. You helped me source one of the new Super Nintendo variants, which is called the latest release. So, Revival Games down in Plymouth. I always get Plymouth and Portsmouth mixed up. Shout out to them. Shout out to Paul, because he hooked me up with this. We came to a deal. I bought it. He sent it. And I'm going to give him a shout out and link his retro game shop. So if you're in the south of the country, in the UK in particular, go and check out Revival Games because he's hooked me up with this. This is beautiful inside. And I kind of thought that speaking about that would lead me on nicely to talk about, this is weird. This is weird. Don't skip this next bit. All Stars. So we have the red variant and we have, which is the classics variant, and we have the yellow variant, which is the one I had when I was a little girl. Now, I recently valued my boxed Super Nintendo collection on sold eBay listings. And somebody, whoever you are, if you're watching this, pointed out to me, Gemma, you don't own these variants. Now, I do have a copy of All Stars boxed and unboxed, but I only have the NTSC box, so I knew going into the Doncaster Gaming Market, I wanted these. Now, here's where the link between these and this comes in, because with the latest release box, you commonly saw F-Zero poking out the front there. You'd have like the latest game kind of pop out, giving a bit of a 3D effect on that Super Nintendo. So because this exact variation, this was the first Super Nintendo game I ever owned, I figured it'd be quite fitting to put this in there. So you'll see that in future episodes. Really happy to have that. So I also picked them up from Doncaster Gaming Market. Now, you may have read a lot of video game magazines in the 90s. We didn't have access to the internet back then. And I spoke to the chaps at the Sega Powered stall. These are the 2 issues that are out so far. I was gifted the first issue and I purchased the second issue. They are I think a quad. There's a quad of guys. So there's 4 of them writing for this magazine. 2 of which I've worked in the industry previously on Sega Power, not Sega Power, I forgot the name of the magazine. It was a prominent Sega magazine in the 90s. And this is very much a love letter to those 90s style magazines we all love, even today actually. So I will link their Twitter in the description as well. I'm not paid for any of this, by the way. I just feel passionate about it. So I want to tell you guys as much as possible. You know, go and check these guys out. Go and have a look at their Twitter. And kind of sticking with the Sega theme, you saw me pick up Fighting Force 2 for the Sega Dreamcast and Snake Rattle and Roll on the Sega Mega Drive. So another couple of good Sega bits in there. Now, just taking a quick kind of stopgap here to let you guys know that over this weekend I'm going to be sorting out all of my wires. I have a new system for how to organise my wires, and I'm going to start to set up my Dreamcast, my Sega Saturn, because I want to start really diving into my retro games rather than setting everything up as I go. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend, and I want to know from you, would you like to see the progress of the other half of my game room, the Lady Loft, over the weekend, because I've got a lot of painting to do. We're nowhere near finished yet, but I've got a lot to do, and you've not had an update. So please leave a like rating and maybe a comment to let me know you'd like to see the progress of a Lady Loft in a brand new episode. So we'll B-roll the remainder of the pickups from the Doncaster Gaming Market, and then I need to just talk to you guys on a couple of points. Really decent haul, really stoked. Please again go and check out the episodes that we did, scouring every corner, nook and cranny of that gaming market. And I don't know when the next one is, but I will let you guys know on all of my socials the minute I find out when any of the next video game markets are and where they are. So for me, and I want to know if you've gone through this, my collection is, I feel like it's starting to take a bit of a turn, like I've said, to focus more on Super Famicom and now definitely Japanese N64 games. And I really like that feeling. I really like that it gives me that new flair and that new energy for retro game collecting, video game collecting. I love that I'm starting to kind of embrace different aspects of this hobby. And as many years in as I am, it never fails to amaze me. And I know so many people are like, oh, I'm bored of retro game collecting. I'm bored of this. I ain't bored. We're going nowhere. So you can expect plenty more content from me. So have you ever kind of gone through that? Maybe you don't collect video games. Maybe you collect comics, toys, whatever it is. What's been the kind of shift that you've noticed previously in your collections? And how have you embraced that? So that was something I wanted just to put out to my subscribers for the deep thinkers in you. I think that that's something we can hash out in the comment section. Pre-COVID, early March 2020, there was a Doncaster Retro Game Market. It was the last market before lockdown, and I watched that episode on my channel and I noticed that there were so many, for example, Super Nintendo consoles alone, that you never see anymore. Now, I'll fast forward to the one we've just done. At the latest Doncaster Gaming Market, the SNES variant, box variants that I saw predominantly were Super Mario All-Stars, which is the yellow box, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then the base model. And I'm starting to see that every shop I go to either doesn't have any Super Nintendo consoles or just has the All-Stars or the base edition. Very kind of common variations. Whereas years ago, and even if I trawl back through 2016, 17 and 18's episodes, at the gaming markets I went to, you're seeing variations like this. And I'm not seeing it anywhere I'm going, and I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? I don't know if you've noticed a shift in anything, but I think Super Nintendo in particular, I'm putting it out there, boxed SNES consoles are going to become more of a commodity than the games. Putting it out there. I think a lot of people are snapping up the more obscure things online. For example, the Killer Instinct. You know, there's some really good consoles back here that you do not see at the markets. Have you noticed that? Is it just me? Am I overanalyzing it perhaps? Maybe it's just a shift in everybody during COVID started to sell online rather than to bring physical product to the gaming markets. And I'm thinking, I hope that that's not the way we're going to be going now. I'd really like to see a little bit more variation even in like the Mega Drive consoles. You don't see a lot of box Mega Drive variants around. I mean, I did see the Lion King Mega Drive 2 model boxed down on the on Alan's stall. It was 225 quid. I mean, whoa. But you tend to see like the base model. So I'm thinking, what is going on here? And I can only put it down to people wanting to sell more online. Now, I'm very much about physical shops. I'm very much about retro gaming markets and supporting that ecosystem, just keeping it alive, because that's what I grew up on. So I think things might start to pan out again. I hope they do. And if there are any shop owners watching this, you guys might be able to have a bit more input as to what's coming into your shops, what's going out of your shops, but in particular box consoles, really difficult to get hold of. Even with games, there are certain games that I think like there's this huge divide in retro game collecting. There's the eBay, and then there's everything else. And what I'm seeing on eBay, for example, running up to Christmas, I wanted a copy of True Lies on the Super Nintendo and I wanted it boxed. I ended up getting it on the Sega Genesis instead for Christmas. Have I found True Lies on the SNES on these last 2 markets in February? Not a peep. Cannot find them anywhere. Didn't even see anything in the December editions that I did. Am I seeing it online? In abundance, absolutely. So I think it's difficult because people know the value of things now and they're banging it all online so they can get a little bit more money, and it breaks me a little bit. I want to see it in the flesh. Back in the day, picked up the Batman Forever Woolworths edition at a gaming market. I've seen box multi-megas at gaming markets. I've seen this Star Fox competition cartridge at gaming markets years ago. You don't get that anymore. So, bit of a plea for old school gamers like me. Stop selling your shit online and bring it to the markets, please. Stop bringing tat. Because some stores do just bring a load of tat just to get rid, and I get that. But, you know, let's kind of keep it going. Let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it, you know, COVID's kind of, you know, it's fizzling out. We're living through it. We're dealing with it now. Let's keep these markets nice and juicy. What an episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You've had a look at what I got at the Doncaster Gaming Market. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow, to perpetuate, to keep this hobby alive. Every subscriber I get, I see it as we're all trying to keep this alive. So it would mean the world to me if you could bang that subscribe button, share the content with your friends. But I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know if you want to see the Lady Loft, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.
I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.